If you've been looking for the best digital product to sell in 2025, you've clicked on the right video. Today, I'm going to share 6 of the most profitable digital products that you can sell on social media as a complete beginner, even if you've never sold anything before. You see, it takes less than a week to set these up, and you can literally be well on your way to making your first $1,500 online today, right after this video. Which brings us to one of the most trending products in 2025 that actually a lot of people get wrong, which is ebooks. You see, what most people think is that they are supposed to fill their ebooks with a ton of information and a ton of guides, a ton of templates, when in all reality, most customers who buy ebooks don't really purchase for all of the information. They are looking for a specific transformation. If you are thinking about selling an ebook, it is an extremely profitable digital product that you can start selling, but there are a few things that you need to get right in order to actually make a profit. Number one is try not to package it as just 1,000 words and a bunch of information. Instead, what you should be doing is positioning your ebook as a starter kit. In my personal experience, I have had a ton of success when I've created ebooks that are positioned as a beginner's guide to whatever niche that you're in. So you want to help the people in your niche who are looking for a specific transformation with your ebook. Don't try to fill it with a bunch of information and talk about your journey and all the things that you've been through. You want to make sure that you help them get a very specific and tailored solution to the problem that they are trying to solve. And a simple way to do this is to just break your ebook down into 5 simple action steps that they can take to go from A to B. And now within each action step, think about it as a chapter. So chapter 1 will be the first thing that they need to do, or the first step that they need to take. Chapter 2 will be the next, so on and so forth. And then you can include workbooks or worksheets within each chapter so that they have an actionable item to do. And what I personally like to do, and what I've seen a lot of customers love, is at the end of your ebook, whatever niche you're in, or whatever your ebook is about, include a 7-day or 14-day plan that your customer can use and implement immediately after finishing your ebook. So for example, if I was teaching beginners how to start creating content, at the end I'd have a template of hooks that they can use, or a template of their first 7 posts that they can create and post on social media. People really love this, and it really makes them feel like you're taking all of the guesswork out of the goal that they're trying to accomplish. But here's one more thing. A lot of you guys try to price your ebooks at the cheapest price because you think that, oh, if I make it $5 or $10, more people will buy it. But in all reality, if you position it as a starter kit, you include the 5 action steps and a template at the end that they can follow, this will make your ebook way more valuable. So I'd like to price it anywhere from $30 to $99, and you will be surprised about how much people will actually get value and love your ebook. Which leads us into our next digital product, which are templates. You see, templates are very good for if you have a unique process within your niche and people need a step-by-step breakdown. Think of it like a cookbook. With a cookbook, you have all the ingredients that you need, all the steps that you need to follow, and you know exactly what type of measurements you need in order to achieve whatever meal that you're trying to create. It is the same exact way. So if I was teaching YouTubers how to create YouTube videos, for example, I'd have a step-by-step checklist for them, create the idea, record it, and post it, and grow their channel. A template is just an easy step-by-step checklist that allows your ideal customer to follow a unique process very simply and get the transformation. Boom. The next digital product that we're going to talk about is workshops. Workshops are especially good for when you are teaching a very specific skill. For example, if I'm an Airbnb host, I'm teaching my ideal buyers how to find profitable Airbnbs. This might be a little longer process that people need more extra guidance and more help in order to understand how to actively and how to profitably do this. So I might have a 2-hour workshop where I show them a few different properties and how to think about making the buying decision on what properties might be profitable, what properties might not be profitable, what properties might take a little bit longer in order to see a return from it. And in this workshop, you can break down the entire process. That allows them to understand, like, okay, when I'm going to buy a property, this is the things that I need to be looking at. These are the things that I need to understand. These are the skills that I have when negotiating and thinking about how much to put or invest into this property. That is why workshops work really well, because someone might not have the time for a course, or they might not have the time to go through an ebook. But if you have a 90-minute masterclass, for example, they can learn and get the information that they need and talk directly to you, get their questions answered, and move on with their life. So workshops are best priced around, I would say, anywhere from $99 all the way up to $299. Actually depends on the skill and the demand for whatever niche and topic that you are teaching your ideal customers. The fourth digital product, in my opinion, gets a lot more hate than it deserves, is courses. People love to hate on courses, but in all actuality, they just help you get from A to B. Now, yes, a lot of people out there, a lot of gurus are trying to sell courses in order to just make a profit and make a living. But with the right course, you can actually change your life in whatever skill that you are trying to learn. The special factor about courses is that you get to learn a high income skill in less time than it would to, let's say, search up YouTube videos, consume ebooks, and you get to learn from someone who has already done the thing that you are trying to learn. They know the ins and outs. They know how to break it down, the step by step, what you're going to go through, all the pains and problems that you're going to face when you start the journey. So you get to speed up the time in order to learn that skill and move much faster than you would if you're trying to learn it by yourself. That is why I personally love courses. Only when the course creator has actually taken the time to learn the skill and is not just teaching it. You see, there's a very big difference between just trying to chat GPT and learn something real quick and having it make the entire course for you versus you've lived it, you've gone through it, and you understand all the nuances and small things that go within learning whatever skill it is that you are teaching. And courses, in my opinion, are best priced at $200 all the way up to $1,000. Yes, you can find some that are worth way more, but keep in mind this video is for beginners who are just starting out, and I would recommend learning the game first and learning how courses work and how to create an actual good course before you get into those very, very high prices. The very next digital product that I would like to talk about are communities. I believe that communities are very slept on. A lot of people talk about how memberships are hard to maintain and hard to grow, and yes, that is true. But the cool thing about a community is just like a course, but now you add an extra layer of coaching and accountability. Because the truth is, most people who buy courses don't really have the time to go through them. You see, they might be trying to scratch an itch in the very moment, but then when life hits and things are happening, they have a lot of trouble going through these courses on their own time because they have no one to keep them accountable. We live in such an information-filled age where you can go on YouTube and consume lots and lots and lots of information, but you never actually apply it. So the cool thing about a community is that, yes, you have the course, but when you add that level of helping you apply it too, that is when you actually get real tangible results for a lot more people. And that is why I personally love communities. I believe that also another touch to a community is that you get to interact with other people. You get to see other people on your journey. You literally, if I'm creating content and I'm teaching people how to create content, being in a community with other content creators and seeing the type of content they're making, seeing the things that they're going through, problems that they're having, and what they're experiencing within their journey will also help me to learn much, much faster versus if I was just doing it by myself and just watching a course. It allows you to be around other people who are winning, other people who are doing good, and other people who are failing, and ultimately learning from everyone. That is why I think communities are amazing. So depending on your community and depending on your traffic size, that's where pricing comes into play. So if you don't have that much traffic yet, so you might want to price your community a little bit higher and have people book a sales call or talk to you directly in order to enter the community, which allows you to handle their objections and what they're going through, which is best for beginners. But if you have a much bigger audience, for example, then pricing your community around anywhere from like $25 to $97 would be very effective for you because you have a bigger market. If you're a beginner, don't be scared to price your community at $99 once you know that you have value and you're able to teach results, and just continue to climb up the ladder as you get more and more social proof. So for example, you might launch at $99, but then as you build your way up, you might go to $109 and then $119 and then $129 and continue to build up from there, which leads us into our last digital product, which is cohorts. You see, think of cohorts as a community, but for a limited amount of time. So you might not have the time to manage a community 24/7. That might not be where you are currently at in your journey. But a cohort allows you to deal with people in the same context as a community where you're talking to them every day, they're going through a course, and you're helping them get a unique transformation, but it only lasts for a limited amount of time. And I believe that cohorts are very, very powerful, especially for beginners. If you're not ready to commit to a community yet, but you also want to give a little bit more coaching than a course, it allows you to still interact with your audience, with your customers, and talk to them, see what they're going through, and help them to speed up their process, give them your direct feedback and responses, and overall give you a clear understanding of what your ideal customers are going through and how you should continue to build or move up your cohort. A lot of people like to start off with a cohort in the very beginning of selling a digital product, and then they like to shift towards coaching or a course where now they understand exactly what their customers are going through and how to provide value. So if you are currently working on a digital product or you're thinking about creating one, let me know down in the comments what type of digital product are you trying to create or are you thinking about getting into.